guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hey, hi, hello, welcome. My name is Alba. I haven't made a video in a really long time, like an actual updated video, because the last vlog that you guys saw was back in February or March, something like that, and even then that was recorded like weeks beforehand, and I just finally put it together and like put it out. So a lot has happened since then, and some of y'all know because I've like sort of mentioned it here and there on my Instagram. So if you're not following me on Instagram, go follow me. So first things first, Brian left me. Psych. No, but he did technically. He's currently deployed, has been deployed, will be deployed for quite some time. So it's just been me. Just been me and my son. It's been rough. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not even gonna fake it. It's been so freaking rough. And I can't even pinpoint like what part of it's like just been the hardest, because it's all been pretty hard. Again, if you follow me over on Instagram, you will see that I posted about like my body essentially breaking down, like going to the ER and physical therapy for like X amount of weeks and all that. And that is because my body could not take the stress of being a solo parent. There's no other way of putting that. Because when you take two very hands-on parents and you take one of them away and all the responsibility falls on only one parent, it's hard. And my body did not like it. All this happened within the first couple months of Brian being gone, which is, I think, the worst part of it, honestly. From like the holistic point of view, the hips are where women carry their stress and their emotions, and I'm not really like an emotional person. I very much hold my emotions in, and when Brian left, I literally cried one day and that was it. It wasn't even a cute cry, it was like an ugly cry. So that's the only time I really cried since he's been gone. And so I just really suppressed those emotions. Well, our bodies hold on to emotions, and women hold their emotions in their hips. Along with the stress of being a solo mom, it was just boom, back to back. So then I was in physical therapy for like 6 weeks. And I was in and out of the hospital because of these really bad hip and back pains, which were apparently caused by my hips being so inflamed. It looked like I had osteoporosis. Twice a week for 6 weeks. I feel better now. I'm back to my usual activities and I'm okay as long as I keep doing those exercises. And I have been and I will be. And so I feel much better now. But then once my body was fixed, the house started to fall apart. Our AC went out. And our AC went out pretty much in like the spring. And so it wasn't as bad. So I could open up the windows at night and let the cool air in and then shut them and then kind of keep the windows closed and the blinds closed, and it stayed cool enough in the house. So that was okay. But it also took them 3 weeks to come out and fix it. Like, again, luckily it got fixed right as summer started here. But they fixed it and it's been alright since then. But then the next thing that happened was there was an animal in my ceiling / wall downstairs, and housing, we live on base by the way, and housing did not deem it as an emergency. And I'm like, why? A house is not an emergency. Like, that thing is up there pooping and peeing and who knows what else, and it's not an emergency. But the worst part of it is that it was so loud that like my dog started barking at it at night, which really sucked. But also it sounded like it was so close to like the last layer of the ceilings. / wall, like it literally sounded like it could just like pop its little grubby paw through, and I was like, absolutely not. And again, that took like 2 weeks to get resolved, and ultimately I don't even think it was fully resolved. I think that it kind of just went away by itself. They had a what is it called? They had pest control come out essentially and try and take care of it. But again, I think it kind of resolved more by itself and it just didn't come back. So that happened, and then our kitchen flooded. like full on flooded. So our freezer apparently went into defrost mode, and it defrosted everything in the freezer and then the fridge, and like it flooded down into the fridge part. Headed downstairs to go do some laundry. I was like, why is the floor wet? Oh, maybe like, you know, he spilled some water or something before we left for the gym. Something like that. And so I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'll clean it up. So when I went over to the counter of my kitchen, that's when I realized, like, no, like our kitchen is flooded. It's not just a puddle of water. Like, it is full on flooded. And I was like, oh my gosh, like what the heck happened? Well, when I went downstairs to the basement, it had seeped through the kitchen floors into the basement. So it flooded parts of that too. And I was like, what the heck is happening? Love that, don't we? And so called maintenance immediately. They didn't show up for 3 freaking hours. Okay, and even then, by the time he got here, he was taking phone calls like back to back to back. And I understand you gotta take phone calls, but dude, like put in an AirPod or something and answer it that way so you can keep working. No, it took him 2 hours to fix what literally could have taken 30 minutes. Like, he was taking a sweet time. He had asked me to pull everything from the freezer. By the time he was done, a lot of it was defrosted, but it also wasn't enough to be covered by insurance. How annoying is that? So I was just like, oh my gosh, one thing after another. We live in some of the oldest housing on base, which is fine, whatever. But when it dried up, it kind of messed with like things that were like in the flooring of the house essentially. And so when it dried smelling funky. And so then I put in work orders for them to come do like a mold test, and they have yet to come out. I put in several orders. I contacted our neighborhood NCO or whatever, and he was of like zero help. It's just been annoying. But even then, if they were to find mold, it's a pain in the butt to just try and get that resolved too. So either way, no one wins. And I'm just, it's annoying. It's just wonderful parts of this housing community. And I know there's other things happening in the world. I get that. But this is just like one of those added stressors that should not have to be a thing. Well, my husband's not here. and of course, like, I'm telling Brian about like everything that's happening, and I try not to stress him too much either. I also want him to stay updated as to what the heck is happening here. It's just been rough and put me like in a not so great headspace. And I get it. I know. You married a military man. You knew what to expect. Blah, blah, blah. I get it, okay? I get it. I totally get that. Let me just complain about it for a second, because I rarely complain about this life. It's hard to try and balance my life right now because I am like just split so many ways. And at first I was fine. I was okay. But then it just got to a point where I was like, where I just literally wanted to lay in bed all day, every day. And I can't do that right now because Ezra depends on me, and only me at this point in time. So that's when I knew something was up. And you know, I told my boss, and she's been very kind and helped me find resources that would help me, because we all, you know, benefit from different things. So I'm very thankful that I have a job that truly cares about my mental health and understands that I need quite a bit of support at this time. Could I go home to my parents in Kentucky? Yes, of course, but trying to get there is so much harder than what I thought it would be, because Colorado to Kentucky is like an 18-hour drive, but it's only going to be me driving with a toddler and a dog. And she's not a small dog either. She's a large dog. So it's just a lot of pressure on me, and I'd rather just kind of stay at home, stay here, where we've gotten into a really good like routine of things. And my parents understand that, but they also aren't able to visit because they work, as well as the rest of my family. Everyone works. I didn't expect everyone to like drop whatever they're doing and like come out here and like be with me and stuff. So, and I did try to record this yesterday, and guys, When I say it looks like I've been in the trenches, it literally looked like that. Like, I'll play a clip for y'all, but I looked so bad. So I was like, you know, I'm gonna re-record this. It's still gonna be genuine, and it is still very genuine, but my appearance will not be as crazy. But also, it's pretty difficult to try and balance not showing my child on the internet and me just showing my life, because currently they merge together like this. Like, he is with me every single day, except for the few times a week that I do go into work. And I love that. I love that I can be here for him and raise him up and all that. But it is hard to record when he's walking around or crying or screaming at me or things of that sort. So that's where why do I look so ashy right now? Like, in this mirror, I do not look ashy. In the viewfinder, I look so washed out. I don't know why the camera is making me look ashy. It's doing me dirty is what it's doing. What time is it? Anyways, a part of me, see, look, I'm not ashy. There's the lighting. What? There we go. A part of me does just think, though, that I am this way because of, like, what happened with my family. And again, if you don't know, my mom lived in Mexico for 10 years because of her status, her immigration status. And so I grew up at that time for half of my life without my mom. By the time she was allowed back in the States, I was like 20 or 21, so she had been gone for 10 years of my life. During that time, I learned how to communicate and love from afar, and as much as I do not wish that upon my worst enemy, because it is a pain that I can never describe, it's helped me during this time. And I don't want to say like I'm thankful for it, because that, again, I do not wish it upon anyone, and I wish it didn't happen to my family, but it did. But it has helped me through this time, and I know that's kind of like weird to think about, but my goodness, I have not just sat and put makeup on in so long. Usually I just rush out the door, maybe do some concealer, and I'm just like out the door. But it's nice just being able to sit down and do my makeup for once. Love my son, but I also love having time to myself to do these things. He's at his babysitters, by the way. I don't think I mentioned that throughout this whole video. I don't know how much of this I'm putting in here, per usual, you know. But yeah, so I'll pick the camera up sometime later. We're going for a walk this evening, so I'll see you guys then or something. But that's what's up. And hopefully I'll make more videos now that I've let you guys in on what's been happening. So I'll see you in a little bit.